Hey guys, Naturally Marked here. Today I want to talk to you guys about what nobody tells you about long hair. Like, okay, you don't went natural, you got long hair, but what no one tells you in the process of going through this. So if you're interested in this video, then just keep watching. The first thing no one tells you is your hair is going to shed a lot. And not saying like from postpartum or anything like that, just naturally, because your hair is so much longer, you're gonna have so much more shed hair, and it's completely natural and normal. You're supposed to shed like about 100 strands a day or so. It's like when you get this amount of hair on your head, nobody tells you, is like, hey, from going from damaged hair to this, you're gonna be shedding in between that time, and your hair density is going to change depending on if you had a perm or heat damage or chemical damage. It's going to change. So when you get all of this hair on your head and then you start either leaving it in a protected style or doing wash and goes, it's like, oh my gosh, why didn't anybody tell me that I'm gonna have so much hair in the tub? And then your tub is going to be clogged, and it's like, what is going on? I've never had a problem with my drain clogging before. That's because you have, your hair is natural now and it's not either heat damaged or anything like that. So the strands isn't just falling straight through the drain. Your hair is actually getting clumped up and balling up together when it's going down the drain, and it's actually getting stuck on every little thing that's in your drain, and it's just gonna clog up your drain. So that is something that you absolutely don't hear about when you are going through this whole natural hair journey or natural hair situation. Is like, your drain is gonna get clogged so much if you went from like having short hair, thin hair, damaged hair, from having a full head of healthy, thick, curly, natural hair. The other thing no one tells you about is once you go natural, if you transition, is your hair grows up. It doesn't grow down, it grows up. So if you've been heat damaged or having perm or something like that, you don't realize that your hair is not growing down. So you think that you're gonna see your length really fast, but it's like, no, you are not gonna see your length at all. Oh my gosh, I have this real crazy looking picture of me. If I can find it, I'm gonna put it on the screen. But I was so irritated when I went natural. I was about maybe a year and a half into my natural hair journey, and I still had like my bad ends on the end of my hair, and I was like, oh my gosh, how come I can't see my length? How come I can't see my growth? Like, I've been doing everything good to my hair, but it feels like it's just in the same spot. And that's because my hair was growing up and it wasn't growing down, which you think would make sense, but it doesn't. And actually, it doesn't just grow up, it kind of grows into a really spirally type. If you are natural and you're wanting to see your length really fast, you're probably not going to see your length unless you blow dry your hair and straighten it, and then you are risking the ultimate risk, which is heat damage and destroying all the hard work that you put into your hair. So it's almost just kind of like, do you really want to see your length, or would you rather just kind of wait 2 years to see your length healthily? Yeah, if you want to see your length really fast without blow drying or straightening your hair, either do some perm rods, curly heatless styles, a braid out, a twist out, and that way you can see some of your length without risking heat damage. Another thing is, when you are fully natural and your hair is all the way healthy, you don't need to get your hair trimmed that much. And I know I've said this before, but a lot of people still, well, a lot of salons still try to say, hey, you need to still come in and get your hair trimmed, blah, 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 blah. But when your hair is curly and you're wanting to wear your hair in a curly state, I will be really cautious about who I will go to get my natural hair trimmed. Our hair is so coily and bunched up. You could be cutting off a length and lengths and lengths of hair without you even noticing that you're cutting off that much hair. The safest way to actually trim, which you don't need to trim your hair that much if your hair is healthy and is in a very nice healthy state, don't need to trim your hair that much. But one way that I noticed that has absolutely helped me keep my length if I needed a trim is twisting my hair, and then the very bottom of your hair, after you twist it, you can snip that off and you can actually see what needs to be trimmed a lot more on the ends of your hair if you're natural, instead of trying to comb your hair and doing it like the salon does it, because I mean, they can kind of see it a little bit better and know how to actually cut your hair in layers if they are a good stylist. But I will be very, very particular about who I will let cut my hair like that, and I will have to trust you with, like, I will have to absolutely trust you for me to go to your salon for you to cut my hair. So if you don't want to go to no one to cut your hair, just twist your hair. You can put your hair in like 20-30 twists just to make sure, hey, if you want your hair even, that's enough twist to cut the split ends off if you need to be cut off, and your hair is gonna grow. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Now, this is gonna be like a controversial situation, this next comment, but protective styling. The way that I grew my hair was protective styling. I know there are some people that can grow their hair just doing wash and goes, but you have to listen to your own hair when it comes to this being a natural girl. It's like you have to listen to your own hair and what your hair do and don't like. Now, one thing that I will say is, for your natural hair, I grew my hair out in a protective style, but I didn't use weave to grow my hair out. A lot of people will say, oh, just throw weave in your hair, put a wig on it, blah 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 blah. And if that's the way that your hair grows, please keep doing that. Like, do what you do, but watch my shoes. No, seriously, if your hair grows that way, my mouth feels so dry. That's how you do that there. Okay, if your hair grows that way, then do that. If your hair grows in mini twists, then do that. If your hair grows with a wash and go, then do that. So what I'm saying is, to hurry up and try to get growth, you have to kind of test the waters with your hair, because I mean, in the stages of you kind of growing your hair and getting your hair natural, you're not going to really know what your hair do and don't like anyways. So you're just going to have to kind of test the waters. Seriously, if you like protective styles, then, and your hair likes protective styles, then you still have to take care of your hair. Just make sure that you're moisturizing it and still taking care of your ends, and make sure that the protective style that you are getting is actually protecting your hair and not doing damage. So with that being said, do whatever protective style, or else grow your hair with wash and goes. If that's what your hair likes, then do that. But one shoe doesn't fit all when it comes to natural hair, and that's pretty much the point of that. Is like, some people will say protective style, some people will say do wash and go, some people will say put weave in your hair. You have to do what works for your hair. Not one does not fit all in this category. Just remember that. So another thing no one told me when I went natural is, your curl pattern is going to look different or change the longer and thicker your hair gets. So what that means is, some people will think that, oh my gosh, you put a perm or something on your hair, or you done texlaxed or whatever, because now your curl pattern is a lot different from when it was when you first started doing videos or when you first went natural. It's like your hair and the weight of your hair is going to pull your hair strands down. So the longer and longer your hair gets, you're gonna see that length. Like, you just have to wait for your hair to get heavy and long. And even if your hair is on the thinner side, it's still going to change just a little bit. So your curl pattern is not gonna always look the same as it did when, if you had a TWA, or your hair was at collarbone length, or even at bra strap length. It's going to look different, and it's going to hang a lot differently too. And also, with that being said, with manipulations, if you are training your hair to do twist styles or wash and goes, your curl pattern will hang or look a little different from whichever way you're kind of training your hair to be constantly. That's kind of it kind of puts wear and tear on the bottom of your hair as well, because the ends of your hair is the oldest parts of your hair. So no one told me, hey, the longer and thicker your hair is gonna get, the more your curls are gonna lay down and are gonna look a little differently than when they did when they were shorter, which probably would have been common sense. But I mean, sometimes it's not, especially if you're in this thing alone and not really knowing what you're doing, or when you're going through the journey, it's kind of like, ooh, what's going on with my hair? Is it damaged? Do I need to cut it off? No, you don't need to cut off your hair because the curl pattern is changing. It's just the weight of your hair is kind of pulling down on your curls, and that's why your curls look different. Now, if you put heat on your hair or did some type of style that has damaged your hair, then you need to look at your entirety of your head, and if your whole head looks like that, then it's not damaged. If only certain pieces of your hair looks a particular way, then it could be damaged. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I really hope you guys find this video helpful. I really hope that if you're going through your hair journey, maybe some of these things could answer some of your questions. If you're kind of clueless about it, like, I don't know, is this real? Is this happening? You know, hopefully this video really helps you guys out there. And if it did, please give me a thumbs up and leave comments down below. And please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.